16 Arsenal players are currently on international duty, and most of their international friendlies begin today. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the international break, what we want for Arsenal players, what we want for Arsenal, and how we want to come out of it when we return to football on the 4th now against Southampton, I believe it is. Big game coming up in the FA Cup quarter-final. Big match indeed, people there. And international breaks, first of all, what are your opinions on international breaks? It's the first time I'm actually asking the Rasenal community what their opinions are on the international break, because I don't really like international breaks. I don't think they're great. I don't think they're fun at all, and especially when they're friendlies. And I would like these 16 players to probably be at home and resting. Of course, they've got their national team's requirements. You understand? And they're obviously going to represent their country. And there is a big World Cup coming up in America this year that we're going to be covering on Rasenal TV, as well as RAS Sports News as well. So make sure you subscribe to Rasenal TV, and let's get into this, people then. Let me first of all call out the 16 players that are on international duty. If you weren't already aware, Maximus Prime Diamond, Christian Norgard, Calafiori, Gyökeres, Martinelli, Saka, Rice, Madueke, White, Havertz, Raya, Zubamendi, Mosquera, Hincapié, and Setford. And those first set of internationals do begin today with the likes of Denmark facing North Macedonia. Norgard will feature in that. Calafiori with Italy against Northern Ireland. Obviously, Ukraine and Sweden, we will see the likes of Victor Gyökeres. Brazil with Gabriel Martinelli versus France today as well. I think there's how many games will our players be potentially playing in as well? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, give or take. I may have counted that wrong. But between now and next Tuesday, the 31st of March, our players will be playing international football. And there are a couple of players that I'm interested to be looking at to see how they play with their countries, because we even seen earlier in the season in some international friendlies that the likes of Marino, Zubamendi, for example, for Spain, play different ways than they do play for Arsenal. It's almost like they got the shackles off. And the reason why we need to be watching the things like this is simply because how are we going to find that for the rest of the season with Arsenal? How are we going to find that freeness in our play? Because it's too systematic, it's too regimented as well. And the likes of, obviously, you got different bosses, whether you're Tuchel or who's managing Spain right now is Enrique, and Enrique is at PSG. Who's managing Spain right now? Lord of mercy, this is how bad I am. I'm out of the loop. And that should be at the forefront of my mind. But the point is, different managers, different styles. But one thing Mikel Arteta has been saying in the last few months is that he wants the enjoyment and the freedom to return to the Arsenal. We need to see that. So we're going to look at some of these friendlies and some of the key friendlies that we are going to be looking at and that we will probably review as well. Is the likes of, I want to see how Spain moves. So you got Raya, Zubamendi, Mosquera, indeed. And that is tomorrow at 8 p.m. versus Serbia. We've also got England tomorrow. Now, the likes of, I think, Madueke. No, not Madueke. Madueke is being monitored by England because he picked up a wrist injury during training last week, Friday. I believe the likes of Saka and Rice as well are going to miss this game because they're going to join up with the England team next week, I think it is. I think they're taking this first week off, and then they're going to join up with the camp next week for the friendly next week. England's friendly is, my apologies, people. England's friendly is next week, Tuesday. So they might play the friendly next week, Tuesday. They may. But players like a Saka, especially a Rice as well, even a Zubamendi, we don't want them playing too much minutes because these games are friendlies as well. In my opinion, they are friendly. So it's not of paramount importance for these games, for these players to play these games. A lot of these teams have already qualified for the World Cup. I know there are some teams, give or take a few, that are still yet to qualify for the World Cup. I think Sweden is one of those teams, or are they fully out of the World Cup? Cannot remember, but we'll do a re-up on that indeed. Now, as I said, 16 players out, and as we know already, there are a few players that are not going on international duty, of the likes of Odegaard, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, Eze, and we also know that Mikel Merino is already still injured, and Jesus and Kepa were not called up for their quads respectively, respectively. Jesus was not called up for Brazil and Kepa not called up for Spain. Both have not had enough minutes to be called up for their teams. Kepa, over his mistake on Sunday as well, probably won't get a look in for Spain. I'll be very, very surprised if he's even a third keeper in the World Cup. So I'll be very, very surprised. And Gabriel Jesus, I would say Gabriel Jesus has an outside chance of joining up with the Brazil squad because, I mean, the last time he was in the Brazil squad, he was having his best moments of football. The first 6 months of Gabriel Jesus were brilliant before he actually got injured before that World Cup in 2022. Correct? 2022, when it was the Winter World Cup, November World Cup. Winter for us, November somewhere, summer somewhere else. You know what I'm saying, people there? Crazy World Cup. Crazy, crazy. And poor Jesus as well. Probably would have had a great time on the World Cup if he didn't get his knee injuries. And that's where his problems started, unfortunately, for Gabriel Jesus. Now, the perfect scenario is that all these players come back fit and healthy, because that's the one thing with international breaks that we don't want, is players to come back injured, especially for the title running now that's coming up. Because after the international break, I know this off my head, it's Southampton, then it's Bournemouth, then it's Manchester City in terms of domestic cup competitions, because we know we got Sporting as well set in between those games as well. I think it goes, does it go Southampton, Sporting, Bournemouth, Sporting, City? That sounds about right. Yeah, those are our next 5 games, and those games are going to be huge. And we need all our players fit and ready. I'm happy with the likes of Gabriel and Saliba being back. I'm hoping that their injuries are just precautionary. It seems like Gabriel's injury is just precautionary with the Brazil squad. And also, I don't think Gabriel needs to join up with the Brazil squad, because remember what happened last time in the last international break when Gabriel got injured? He wasn't needed. They were managing his load in the warm-up, and they decided to start him anyway, and then he gets a calf, or was it a groin strain? We don't need to be risking our players. Give him a couple of minutes here and there. Give him a run out. Do you know what I'm saying? 20 minutes here and there, half an hour here and there. Keep them ticking over, but do not overplay them in friendlies, please. I'll be very annoyed if I see players like Rice, Zubamendi, Mosquera. I'm talking about all our players playing 90-minute games of football. I'll be very, very annoyed indeed. 55, 60 minutes here and there, bring them off. That's it. They don't need to be playing any more than that, because we've got a big 2 months coming up now. 2 months, less than 60 days. And our future could either look beautiful or horrible down in the dumps. International breaks, don't like them, but we got to deal with them, unfortunately. Our Arsenal community. So let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comment section below. As I said, how do you feel about international duty? How do you feel about international breaks? They are not fun. Or do you enjoy them as well? We are going to be, I'm probably going to watch England tomorrow. Like I said, I want to watch Spain as well. And just want to see how the boys get on. And I'm very, very happy for White to be back in the England squad as well. It seems like Tuchel is really taking his time with Ben White to get him back on side, a part of the English camp. And he deserves to be there. Definitely. Ben White is a great player. Forget about what's happened this season. Ben White is a great player, and he deserves to be a part of that squad. And we know what happened with Southgate and assistant manager there, England at the time. Blah, 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 blah. It is what it is. Ben White should be there because he's fantastic. So we'll see how this international break goes indeed. We will see how this international break goes indeed. And then we will reconvene. We will see what happens for England tomorrow. We'll see what happens in Spain and all the other internationals that are on duty right now. So make sure you stay locked into Rasenal TV. I've been your host, Dini, and we'll talk again soon. Peace.